Perhaps you've seen this on the internet. It's a hoax that comes around every once in a while. And what it'll say is, if you, on next Tuesday, it's 9:30, 7 in the morning, if you jump into the air at that exact moment, then the alignment of Jupiter and Pluto will be perfectly in balance with Earth's gravity, and you will float momentarily. Now, if you know anything about physics, you know there's no way that's going to happen. That Jupiter and Pluto are too far. Pluto, really? They're too small, too far away. Jupiter's pretty big, but it's too far away. I mean, even the Earth's gravitational pull is not enough to make you float in the air. But they're right in this, in that if you find the balance between Earth's gravity and another source of gravity, then you could float into the air. Today, and for the next 4 weeks, I'm going to talk about financial gravity. The gravity that pulls us down. But I want us to all find a balance so that we can soar. But actually, the first problem is too little gravity. People who say, well, you know, how can I be overdrawn? I have checks left. They confuse spending money with managing money. We live in a culture that entices us to spend and to go. Get more and more. Advertising surrounds us. Google is a $500 billion company based on advertising. They have no product. Actually, as Vic Larson often reminds me, if you're not paying for something, then you are the product. You know, Google did an extensive field test to see which shade, not color, which shade of blue gets better results. Wow. And they found that this shade worked better than that shade. When I remember first going into a Walmart and discovering there were things I didn't know I needed. Oh man, I need that. I need that. My dad jokes they've got a $100 minimum because, you know, you go in there for two things and I need that, I need that. And all of a sudden, there you are. Our needs get met. Our wants get met. And before we know it, our wants, we think our needs. We get into a mindset of, I need that. It's not healthy. Sometimes we call it the I wants it. An addict once said to me, I don't crave alcohol, but I enjoy it. Well, there's a problem there. And that's a problem we run into. You hear about that minister that wanted his congregation to take up an offering for a $76 million jet. Okay, why do you need to be going to all these different places anyway? But really? We have too much stuff. Why do we need to go buy more? There's a container store sells nothing but containers for us to put our stuff in. I love the container store when you need to organize things. But maybe the answer is get rid of stuff. Do you really, really need it? I think the modern credit card industry was started when an accountant at Sears discovered that they were making more money on the interest for purchases than the actual sale itself. They would give it to you at cost if you would charge it. And they would make more money. Wow. We're not going to hell in a handbasket. We're going to hell in a shopping cart. The second problem is too much gravity. Where we are held down, we are laden with debt. Interest payments build up, and soon we're spending more of our money on interest than we are items. We can't do what we need to do. Now, I understand loans. There are some Christians say you should never take a loan. I disagree with that. I think a loan is a way to manage your money. We have taken car loans out when we had the money to pay cash, but didn't want to tie up all our cash that way. We thought we would rather manage the low interest rate or zero interest rate in some cases. housing payments. It's hard to buy a house without getting a loan. If you have student loans, then you certainly have to pay those back. And I would hate for someone not to go to school because they couldn't afford making the payments at the time. Now again, I understand they can get out of control. Student debt is an issue. But we have to be careful with these things. Car payments are easy to get out of control. I know people to be at a car dealership getting their car serviced or for whatever, and the salesman approaches them and says, you know what do you make? What payments are you making on that car? Oh, this amount. Well, for that same amount of money, I could put you in a brand new one. Wow, that sounds great. But instead of now, you're in year 3 of your loan. Instead of being 2 years from paying it off, you're now 5 years from paying it off. And 3 years from now, you'll do it again. Keep the car. Pay to keep it running. I mean, my last car I had 14 years. I think I got my money's worth out of it. Don't let that, oh, yeah, I need a nicer car. I want those nice new features. They're wonderful. But do we really need them? Do we really need them? Credit card debt can eat you alive. It builds up. 20% interest? Wow. When's the last time? How much of your budget is credit card debt? Think about it. Well, we have our story here, and we have this rich young man. I'm going to call him Henry, and Henry stands for high earning, not rich yet. It's a descriptor for many of our millennials. And this young man has a lot of stuff, and he goes to Jesus. He says, what must I do to inherit eternal life? And Jesus said, keep the law. And the young man says, I've done that. Jesus doesn't dispute that. Jesus doesn't say, oh, you missed this over here. No, Jesus agrees with me. He says, there's one thing you lack. Give away all your possessions. This man couldn't do it. Henry could not do it. He had too much stuff, and it was weighing him down and keeping him from doing this. He had an opportunity to walk with Jesus. He had too much stuff. Now, Jesus did not make that a general rule for all Christians. Again, some people will go there, and I disagree. John Wesley would disagree. John Wesley said, earn all you can, save all you can, give all you can. But be reasonable about it. There are things you have to do and spend, and you have responsibilities. I understand that. But we shouldn't let them weigh us down. We have to put our trust in God. What are you doing with what God has entrusted to your care? How are you spending your money? Have you ever been on a school field trip, especially in elementary school kids? There's one person who's the counter. 1, 2, 3, 29, good. Getting on the bus, 29 kids. On the bus, 29, good. Off the bus, how many kids? 29. Stopping for the bathroom, 29. Eating lunch, 29. Ready to get on the bus, 29. Getting on the bus. Getting off the bus, 28. 97%, we did all right. You're right, you tell the parent that. 97% isn't good enough. God is calling us to be responsible for all of it. To be good stewards of all that we have. Tithing is a part of that. That's 10% that you give to the kingdom. But be good stewards of all of it. Not just 10% here and the rest I can do whatever I want with. No, you have to be responsible with all of it. How does your checkbook reflect your priorities? Joseph Heller, the author of Catch-22, was once told of a funds manager who made more in one day than Heller had made from all his book sales. And Heller said, well, that's okay, because I have something he'll never have. And that's enough. That's enough. Do we have enough? I think we do. Are we good stewards with what we have in use? We've got 2 challenges in the bulletin for you this week. The first is to do some decluttering, to free up the things that hold you down. Find a closet, or maybe your garage, or maybe a room in your house, and go through it. Find, there's stuff that you probably don't need, and there are probably good places to use it. We have 2 yard sales coming up, one with the Shepherd Center and one here at Vale. I bet you can find lots of stuff you can part with. Find a good home for it. Somebody can make a good use of it. The second challenge is harder. I want you to look at your spending habits, your money. You've just done your income taxes, I hope. They were due last week, by the way. But look at your spending. If you have a checkbook program like Quicken, you can easily do that. And maybe you don't have that good a record, but in that case, take a month. Just pick a month at random, maybe 2 months. Separate them. Right? Don't do Christmas. But do a couple of months, and just some typical months, and try to look at where you're spending money. And think about it. I'm not going to ask you to bring it in and we're going to grade it. That would be kind of fun. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to do that. But I want you to think about it. And sit down with your spouse, with your family, and look at your finances. And decide, are you being good stewards? Does your checkbook reflect your priorities? We'll talk about that more in the next couple of weeks, but there's a sample budget outline in your bulletin. In our Sunday school class, we're going to get into that a little bit more detail. But I truly think we have enough. But if we let those things weigh us down, then we can't do what we should be doing. And if we don't let them weigh enough, then we're just all over the place. But if we find that right balance, we will soar. We will soar. So let's put our trust in God and soar. Will you pray with me? Your will. Nothing more, nothing less, nothing else.